So it's the 31st of March 2010. We wrapped up the Silver Summit here in Singapore yesterday, and we had interviews on Primetime News, which is the largest news channel in Asia, I believe.
Goes out to 23 countries.
Goes out to 23 countries. We just wrapped up an interview with Bloomberg. And the interview went so well that my cameraman Dan says that this is the day that the second phase of the bull market starts. The second phase is when the public really starts hearing about it. It's the longest portion of the phase, greatest duration and greatest gains, usually, in any bull market. There should, the World Gold Council, just one of the questions in the interview, the World Gold Council expects the demand for gold to double in the next 10 years. This is the very end of the interview, and I said, that's silly. This is a bull market. It'll go up 100-fold. And we got the word out that silver is actually more rare than gold, the amount that investors can buy. So the interview went very, very well. And we're on the way back to the hotel now, and I'm going through the newspaper, the Business Times here in Singapore, and they're in this massive real estate bubble because every single day, if it's not on the front page, it's inside the paper. Sales of new private homes doubled to nearly 4,000 in Q1, first quarter. So they have no idea that they're in this massive real estate bubble. And, we just, at the seminar, we showed them that their central bank, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, is actually a private. It's not part of the government. We showed them how currency was created. And they were very, very surprised to see that the debt to GDP ratio, the amount that the country owes on all of the bonds that is on the backs of the taxpayers, is higher than Greece. It is the 6th highest country in the world when it comes to debt to GDP. It's far, far higher than the United States. It's like double what the United States is. And, well, not quite double, but word is spreading so rapidly. This bull market is just going to be astounding. But yeah, my cameraman thinks that today is the day the second phase starts, because now the Chinese, everybody is finding out about this. So it's going to be an exciting decade. This is, the biggest changes in history are coming this decade. It's going to be unlike anything that any of us have ever experienced. And it's either going to be very good for you or very, very bad for you, depending on what side you are on. Because this is I keep on saying, I've been saying for years, this is the greatest opportunity in the history of mankind, because this is the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind. Never before have all the world's currencies been fiat currencies at once. There is no other place to run to protect your wealth from the confiscation that the governments are doing by printing more and more and more currency. People ask me about, well, what if they confiscate gold again? Well, they're confiscating your wealth by printing more dollars right now. Your wealth is evaporating out of your bank account and out of your pocket because they keep on creating more currency, and it causes inflation, and this is just going to get worse in the future. I bring along with me all of these charts so I could show them the growth of the money supplies. And here in Singapore, the Malaysian ringgit, the Chinese yuan, so I had M2 statistics for China. Australia, since 1960, there are 180 times more Australian dollars, the base money in Australia. Taiwan, from 1962 to today, there are 389 times more Taiwan dollars today than there were in 1962. And it just goes on and on and on. People are waking up, and because in this bull market you have 10 times more people on this planet that can come chasing gold. The last time 90% of the population was excluded. There were no markets in the USSR, China under Mao. So 90% of the population could not participate in the causing gold's price to rise. It was only North America and Western Europe, 10% of the world's population. This time, there are billionaires in Russia, China, India, South America. The world's richest man lives in Mexico City. And they can all buy gold and silver this time, where they couldn't last time. And there's exchanges in Shanghai, Moscow. This didn't exist before. And then, so you've got 10 times the people, each with 10 times the currency. And then there's a difference in investor mindset. Back in the 70s, people were savers. Before we went off of gold, before Nixon severed the link between the dollar and gold, somebody could expect that if they went to work, be in their late teens or early 20s, and they saved 10% of their paycheck every month, by the time they got into their 60s, they could retire and live off the interest in the bank. Well, that evaporated the second Nixon took us off of gold. And you had to become an investor or a speculator. You had to figure out how you were going to create your own retirement. And so the result of all this, and then the bubbles, the NASDAQ bubble, in tech bubble, and dot-com bubble in 1999, everybody became a day trader. Then we had the real estate bubble and another stock market bubble. And the result is, I don't know anybody that doesn't have an investment mentality. So in this bull market, you've got 10 times the people, each with 10 times the money, and in every population, you've got somewhere between 10 and 100 times more people with an investment mentality looking for the next big thing, the next thing that is going to either protect their wealth or get them that new Lamborghini. And so you've got to remember, there was not one investor in all of China and the USSR. So in 50% of the world's population, there wasn't a single investor. And today, investing is a sport in China. You've got the Shanghai Stock Exchange. So it's a factor of 10 times more people, each with 10 times more currency. And in every population, there's somewhere, I don't know where this number is, but it's somewhere between 10 and 100 times more people that have an investment mentality, coming to look for the next great investment. And with all this currency being printed all over the planet, the next great bubble is destined to be precious metals. It absolutely is. As people rush back to precious metals to protect their wealth, they're going to drive this into a bubble the likes of which the world has never seen. So, I've been in it since 2003 when gold was $300 an ounce. But this is by no means over with. This is just beginning. And according to my cameraman, Dan, the second phase starts today.